D-Fit here, back with Fit Bully TV. In this video, we're going to walk through what it means to have a good dog. First, we've always talked about recall, right? God, it was gorgeous. For me, I admire a good handler and a good dog. And a dog's as good as a handler. So, Henrik, God, man, he says, don't agitate my dog. Agitation is like cracking a whip or making a bunch of noise. My dog should know to bite you without being agitated, because most criminals ain't going to come in your noise beating no tambourine. Or no, hey, I'm here to rob you. They're not gonna be stomping and beating no drums, taking shit out of your house. So it is imperative that the dog and you have real good communication. And I gotta be honest, that's the first time I saw that. And that doesn't mean that Stan and Jamil's dogs are not good, but I was like, yo, he's quiet with it. And he never yelled. You look at that thing, I never heard him. I mean, he said he used his voice. Like, you could tell when somebody's yelling, like, please don't fuck up. It's two different tones when people say, basically, stop or do a call off. You heard Stan, no! You've heard Stan say, I've heard it many times. And you know, Rocco will come back and be like, I'm going to go ahead and give you a little taste real quick. Then I'll come back. So, what we saw with Jalen's dog, Rocco killed it. Creed, God, his progression's amazing as well. But let's walk through Henrik. Henrik has a German Shepherd. It's all black. He breeds them. He does a lot of testing, so definitely reach out to him if you're interested in looking for a protective dog that could be well trained. That's what he does, and he gets them from Germany. He can break down all the lines. What he did was he sent his dog. He stopped his dog, and she came right back. He told the dog to get old boy, basically. Then what you saw was the because the dog was given the command to out and guard objectively, the guy in the bite suit, he's pulling on the dog's leash at some point. But even the other dogs would bite that joker back, because once you move, you are technically allowed to rebite. I thought that was impressive, because I go, wow, this dude's got the suit on. The dog already bit him. He's now got the decoy, has the dog's collar in his hand. He's snapping the collar a little bit, just like Pop, nothing crazy. And the dog's still not biting. He says, bite again. The dog bites, comes out, and then comes back. You go, this is a whole nother level of it. This is another level. Let's get to Jalen's dog. Jalen, he done taught his dog crip signs. So he's like red, green, blue, and in this case, those terms mean out, bite, guard, sit, whatever. He literally took it to, made it very personal. So you can't tell his dogs are working. You yell out red though, somebody might get chewed up. So that was impressive as well, because and the funny part is, he said, one of the shepherds, he said $600 off Craigslist. Dogs seem pretty motivated, definitely interesting, and in my case, I was definitely as always impressed when I just see, for me, a good relationship between dog and handler and somebody who's like in it. And what I really love is that when you watch these guys who are real motivated by their dogs, they go into a different place. Like, those guys are advanced. Stan, Jamil, Henrik, and you go, wow. So the whole time they're getting active, they're like this. They're with their dog. And that's the difference between even myself and them. I be there, but they're like locked in. When that dog is doing that stuff, it's because they're like, they like, man, it's crazy to watch. So in this video, I hope you're seeing the progression, and hopefully we'll start with, like, you got to see Jalen's dog, Rocco. You know, Rocco's gonna do his thing. He's an old man now, and he's I ain't gonna say he's wrapping up, but he's at the end of his working life, and so Boots is next, and Boots will get busy too, and by far probably one of Stan's, like, he'll tell you, he's got the best bite out of all of his dogs, or out, to be clear, not bite but out, and he's super trained, which means he wants to appease. Those are shepherds though, they can be guided and led to do whatever you need him to do a lot of times. Creed, godly, let me tell you about Jamil, and then, you know, that'll sum this up. Every one of these people has different level of trained dogs. For me, Henrik was refreshing to see, because I hadn't seen that, to be clear, ever. Not in real life. I have watched French Ring and some other things where you get real like into it per se. When I say into it, you'll see the decoys walking around, but the dog's supposed to stay still until he's given a direction. You go, wow, that's crazy. Jamil was a guy who wanted to get over his fears. He goes out and reaches out to Stan. He says, let me get bit. 4 years later, and I ask him this every time, I say, so when you gonna get a dog, man? 4 years later, he gets a dog. And he plans on getting the dog a title or two, and he's done everything right. And so when I saw Creed, boom, hit hard. Then boom, come back. Boom, hit hard. Boom, come back. You go, wow. That's impressive, man. And as Jamil said on the podcast, Creed's the only one who survived in this litter, which makes it worth even more to probably to Jamil as well, but to others that are saying, man, that dog, I should have kept the dog. And he was the only all black dog. So you're learning these things by watching these people and what the dog is doing for him. So for me, I'm sitting back and I'm watching these men who, Jamil and even in those moments where Jamarcus was decoying, and definitely Stan, and watching his communication style and him guiding and leading and, going through his process. I said, man, all these guys are growing. So when I'm sitting back, I'm like, this was worth it. This was worth it because I've been there when nobody would speak up or say anything, and people were afraid and nobody wanted to try. And you had good dogs, but they need to be better men. And to see everybody with good energy and learning and working together, I said, yep, where this could be a thing. And it was a blessing, to say the least, to be a part of, and even to a degree orchestrated. And everybody brought some people out objectively, so it wasn't just me. They weren't just out there for Fit Bully. They were out there because some of them worked with Stan, and some of them wanted to see us and bring their dogs and showcase their dogs and see what they could do. And we do hope to see more people, to be clear. We want everybody to come out and have some fun. Don't think of it as an opportunity to make your dog a dangerous dog, but think of it as an opportunity to be like, yo, did you see these dogs? Did you see that shepherd? Did you see that Malinois? Did you see that bully? Did you see that pit bull? Did you see that Australian shepherd? Those dogs, they love their owner. That owner's done a lot of work. Hey, what's it take to get the dog from here to there? Well, tell it to sit. And they're gonna look at you crazy. Oh, it's gonna take a lot more than a question. And this is what they might recommend, or I recommend that you should do. So, shout out to Stan. Shout out to Henrik. Shout out to Jalen. Shout out to Jamil. Definitely Jamarcus as well for jumping in the suit and taking some bites. And I repeat, everyone who came to watch it turned into a thing. People from at the park, they were getting their cameras out and coming over and watching. And that's a beautiful thing, because now you never know where it's being shared. And someone says, hey, I know that fucking dude. That's fucking Fit Bully. Where are you at? Where was that at? That's why we're going to have to shift parks too. So people don't just and the only way you get to know the next location is if you buy your ticket and you show up at the next spot. And that doesn't mean we might not revisit the park. I really do like the park. I think it's one of the best parks to go to and utilize. You got hill, you got water, you got creek, you got trees. It really is all inclusive. It works. It's got the sand pit, which we didn't even get to use, but it's got a lot of opportunity. And I'm going to find some more places where we can have more opportunity and nobody's stressing us about hanging out with our dogs and doing a little bite work. But anywho, this was a great day, because even myself, I got to learn something and continue to be inspired. I repeat, watching Henrik kind of be quiet and have a well-trained dog was like, God dang, I gotta go do some more work. I've seen Stan. We see Stan every Thursday, and I'm always like, yo, what do we need to do today? We'll bring this dog, because I know your dogs can do this and that. Watching Jamil's growth, godly, huge for me. And then meeting some of those other people who just were grateful to be a part of the experience. Huge for me as well. Because some people think it starts with a lot of people. And realistically, it just starts with some work. And if you do the right work, the right people will come. And what we did see, because once people got there and saw it was serious, they were like, oh shit, we really got to dial in. So Stan, Jamil, Jamarcus, Henrik, Jalen, they're all people who take this bite work stuff serious as a heart attack, and they enjoy it. I mean, I don't know why they enjoy getting bit so much, but I tell you this, boy, they enjoy it, man. They like, no, get him to do this. And I watch their faces when they get into the zone, and even watching Jamil, who's not super expressive, but you go, wow, Jamil like getting bit too. He been getting bit for like 5-6 years now. So appreciate everybody for showing up. I repeat, in this video, hopefully you got to see some highly trained dogs and the progression of each dog and handler. And if you didn't know what you were looking for or to look at, just watch the dog and the handler. Good dogs bite hard, don't forget that.